Confidence is often treated like the starting line. Like once you feel confident enough, then you can begin. Then you can take care of your health. And then you can try again. But that's not actually how it works. When I started my health journey, I could hardly walk around the block. And not just uncomfortably walk around the block, I could not do it without stopping to rest. I didn't feel strong. I didn't feel capable. And I had absolutely no confidence that I would be successful. None. I really didn't believe that my body would cooperate. And I didn't have past success to point to because I'd never really truly put effort into getting healthy before. All I knew was this. I had to get healthy so my daughter would not end up an orphan. Not sticking with it was not an option. I didn't know how things were going to work. I didn't know how long it was going to take. I didn't know very much at all, to tell you the truth. What I did know was that I had a willingness to try. That was it. And that willingness didn't feel powerful. It didn't feel inspiring. It just felt like a quiet, shaky decision to take one step at a time. And I had hope. Here's what I learned. Confidence didn't show up first. It didn't give me permission to begin. Confidence showed up because I began. It showed up after I took the step, and then another, and then another. And then it kept showing up, even when I wasn't sure that I could. That is the confidence curve. And if you're waiting to feel ready before you start, if you're waiting for confidence to kick in and arrive before you take care of your health, then this conversation's for you. Welcome to episode 43 of Making Male Health in the Hustle. This podcast is a place where motherhood meets muscle, ambition meets exhaustion, and figuring out how to prioritize my health journey into the insanely beautiful chaos of a busy life is what I talk about. Some days it'll look messy, and some days flawless. But no matter what kind of day I'm having, I can assure you, I will tell the truth and do my best to give you some good ideas and insight to help you prioritize your own journey. So let's talk about confidence versus competence. See, we tend to treat confidence like a requirement, like it's something you're supposed to have before you begin. But confidence isn't a personality trait. It's not something you're born with or without. It's something that you build through experience. Psychology actually calls this self-efficacy, the belief that you're capable of taking action and following through. And that belief doesn't come from thinking positive thoughts. It comes from doing the things, even imperfectly. You don't feel confident and then care for your health. You care for your health, and confidence starts to catch up to you. If you're waiting to feel ready before you begin, you might be waiting forever. Confidence is often misunderstood as something that is certain, like you're supposed to know this will work before you start. But see, competence doesn't come from being certain. That comes from participation. When I couldn't walk around the block, I wasn't confident in my body. But every time I tried and tried again, every small attempt, I was gathering evidence. Evidence that I could do something. Evidence that I could recover. Evidence that I could try again tomorrow. That's competence. And confidence grows from competence, not the other way around. You don't need belief in the outcome. You need belief in your ability to keep showing up. And as Coach Val would say, focus on your future self and then take your next step. And if that still feels a little bit abstract, let me make it physical, because the body understands something even when the mind resists. One of my favorite ways to explain this is through strength training. In powerlifting, you don't walk into the gym already strong. Nobody starts with a heavy bar. You often start with an empty bar or maybe just 5-pound plates on each side. You don't wait until the bar feels light. You start with what you can lift today, even if initially it feels embarrassing to you. Strength is built through progressive overload. It's small, consistent increases over time. The body adapts because you show up, not because you were perfect. Some reps you'll shake. Some days you fail. You miss lifts, and you come back anyway. Some days the win is simply walking into the gym, and that is perfectly fine. But the body doesn't care about your confidence. It responds to consistent stress and recovery. My health journey worked the same way. I didn't need to believe I'd succeeded. I needed to take the next step. Confidence didn't come from thinking I was strong. It came from discovering slowly that I was becoming stronger. That's progressive overload for life. You don't wake up confident in your body and then start caring for it. You show up consistently, and your confidence grows because of that relationship. Confidence is muscle memory. It's built by adding, not waiting. But health isn't lived in a gym metaphor. It's lived in real days, real stress, real fatigue, and real life. And that's where the confidence curve actually shows up. A sustainable health journey isn't linear. There are strong days and there are shaky ones. There are high energy weeks and then there are quiet resets. The confidence curve means staying engaged even when progress feels slow or even invisible. The curve dips. It tests you. And sometimes it makes you feel like you're back at the beginning, even when you're not. Some weeks you feel capable. Other weeks, confidence disappears again. But this is where the shift happens. You don't quit just because confidence fades. You already know it wasn't there at the beginning either. So you show up tired, you show up unsure, you show up after you fail. You show up anyway. Because it's not about how you feel. It's about showing up. And over time, your body learns something really important. That you can be trusted. That trust becomes confidence. It means paying attention instead of judging. And listening to your body instead of fighting it. It means showing up even when the results aren't exciting or fun or the level of success you wanted. Every time you choose to stay in the process, to eat with intention, to move in a way that feels supportive, to rest when you need it, you're building trust with yourself. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. So the question becomes, how do you stay engaged on the days when confidence isn't there at all? So let's talk about some practical confidence builders. Confidence doesn't disappear on the days that you need it least. It disappears on the days when you're tired and overwhelmed and doubting yourself again. So we need some tools to keep building confidence when the feel-good stuff doesn't get it done. Some anchors for the days when confidence isn't available. First, we could look at daily wins. See, confidence doesn't come from big milestones. It comes from daily evidence. On the days when I couldn't walk around the block without rest, the win wasn't the distance. The win was trying. Daily wins teach your nervous system this. I can be trusted to show up. Not perfectly, not impressively, but consistently. And that consistency builds self-trust. Secondly, I want to talk about mirror work. Now, this can be controversial for some folks, Mirror work isn't about hype or being trendy. It's about respect. Speaking to yourself the way that you would speak to someone you love, especially when progress feels slow. Because see, shame, it doesn't create change. Safety and honesty do. Mirror work can feel really uncomfortable initially, and I remember laughing hysterically the first time that I looked myself in the eye in the mirror. And at times, when you're in a struggle, it can be really hard, but that's why you do it alone. If you can have an honest, open, raw, vulnerable discussion with yourself each day, looking yourself in the eye, you build confidence and self-respect. There is a very powerful connection and a quiet strength that grows each time you look yourself in the eye and speak out loud to yourself. The mirror is a place where you can be alone and honest without a thing to prove to anyone. And confidence grows in environments where you don't have to prove your worth. The third tool is community. Confidence grows faster when it's being witnessed and supported. Not because others fix it for you, but because you're reminded that you're not doing it alone. Borrowed belief still counts. Sometimes the community carries confidence until yours catches up. And that's not weakness. That's how humans change. We impact one another and we strengthen one another. We were built for this connection. If you are in a space where you don't feel supported, then you're not the problem. Your community is. Go find your people, because there's power in community. None of these tools require confidence first. They require a decision. The same decision that I made when I didn't know how this was going to turn out. The decision that I still have to make daily because I am not where I'm ultimately going to end up. I show up. I'm willing to try. That is how confidence continues to build. So take a moment and ask yourself, where in my health journey am I willing to feel ready? What's that one small act of care that I can repeat this week? Not perfectly, just honestly. It doesn't require you to feel confident first. It requires you to decide to show up. If confidence were required, most of us would never start. Willingness is more than enough. So confidence isn't something that you arrive at. It's something that you build, rep by rep, choice by choice, through the small, steady steps we take every day. When I struggled to walk around the block, I didn't have confidence. I had absolutely no proof this would work. No certainties, no guarantees. I had a willingness to take one step and see. That step didn't change everything overnight, but it changed what came next. And any step you take for your health, with or without confidence, is a step in the right direction. Confidence doesn't have to arise first. It can be built quietly through repetition and honesty and staying engaged and showing up. So if you're in a place where confidence feels out of reach, let this be your reminder. You don't need to believe in the outcome. And you don't need motivation. You don't need to be certain. You need a willingness to try. And then you take the step. Confidence isn't a feeling, it's a decision. And it's one that you get to make again tomorrow when you show up. So let's do that. Until next time, onward and upward, my friends.